Hey, you guys, you're going to want to listen all the way through this episode because we're dropping a couple of big names from the 90s and how you can watch them on TV.
You don't know this band yet, but you should soon. The Thunder Queens Band. You're going to find out all about them and why a Canadian band that we love, The Beaches, are big supporters of these young ladies.
Yeah.
Enjoy the show, everyone.
Well, hey, Kelly.
That's amazing. You sound like a
I know. I'm trying new things, trying to keep it fresh.
fresh indeedy.
Yeah, with our favorite decade being more than 30 years ago. You got to do what you can to keep it fresh. And what's great is that a lot of our faves from our fave decade do a lot themselves to keep it fresh for us. So what we're going to talk about today is who Billboard magazine has named the best female Latin pop artist of all time.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to take you to the desert, where tons of music fans are getting ready for round 2 of Coachella. Also, Kelly's Trivia will challenge you in a way that'll remind you of semester's end. You know, that feeling of, oh, it's almost over, but I've got so much work to do. Stress that comes in. It's going to be like that feeling. So get ready for that. You might freak out, but in a really good way. Also do a 90s rewind that'll take us into a nice, sweet, even spot of the 90s, and we'll go back to 1994. But at the start of this week, Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Lauren Sanchez were among the crew on Blue Origin that blasted off. So I thought we should start there. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we did a countdown? But no, we're not going to do that. We know how it goes.
I thought because I follow Katy Perry and we've talked before that I'm a full-fledged Katy cat.
Mm-hmm.
And she really posted some great content like in the lead up to it and then obviously, since the event has happened. But one thing that I just thought was so great is because she has been very open about the fact that she is like open to, trying to, I think, really clue into like her highest self and like all the synchronicity of the universe and like all that stuff. Like she's a
Mm-hmm.
seeker, I think would be a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's been a long time thing. So this is not just some bandwagon she's been on. And she actually posted that I guess when she was presented with this opportunity, it was something to the effect of like she was looking for like signs.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the signs was that the capsule that she was in, I forget if she said it was in the shape of or it was the model of, but it was called Feather or something like
Oh.
that. And that's a nickname that her mom calls her.
Oh,
And
wow.
and then further to that, she said that the name of that capsule, its code name or whatever was going to be called Tortoise, and that's another nickname that her mom calls her.
Oh, wow.
And so she's like, my signs were there. She's like, I knew it was, because I'm sure she had some level of being concerned. Like she's a mom of a little one. And so
Mm-hmm.
even though, I think this is probably as safe can be for this type of thing, it's still new. And so to blast off into the stratosphere, like,
It's a little nerve-wracking, I think.
yeah. So I just thought that was really cool. And I just find Katy Perry is such a good light. Like she has a good light, she wants her fans to like also explore whatever it is in their life. And she just, I don't know, I think she's a good person to want to enjoy as an artist and as a person. So,
Well, it's neat that her reaction was so pure and love-based that, I mean, how do you capture your feelings when you're looking at the world in such a way that, not everybody has the opportunity? I guess technically everybody will have the opportunity with this kind of thing. But at this point, she's among the first to do it. And her reaction was so almost hippie-like,
mhm.
peace and love like that. I mean, the talk show hosts had fun with that for sure. But Jimmy Kimmel was basically like, did she do mushrooms when she was up there? Because it kind of did sound like there was no bursting that positive bubble at all. She was just so floaty, for lack of a better
Yep.
cliche, that you would be in space. And her return to Earth had her kissing the ground and like just purely happy.
Yep.
Did you see any of the lead up? And I don't remember if we talked about it, of William Shatner talking to Gayle King.
No, I didn't
on
see
on
any of
on the
that.
morning show on CBS, basically saying in very William Shatner fashion, "There's nowhere to go to the washroom, Gail." He said, "They'll give you a diaper, Gail," and his like Captain Kirk delivery, really deep and rich. And she's like, "You're not making this better, William." But I mean, funny how there's so much talk and prep and thought and planning that goes into, a 5 to 10 minute trip,
Yeah.
and it's, come and gone.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is I was reading some articles kind of around it. And again, I saw the Katy Perry post and um I still don't know who it was, but somebody went on some talk show. I think it might have been on NBC's like the Hoda show that's no longer the Hoda show because she's done is it Jenna Bush that's now the co-host with her? Anyways,
The Hoda No Show, right?
that one. Even though I do like Jenna Bush, by the way. But
Yeah.
they said whoever the guest was, I can't remember now, but apparently they were poo-pooing this whole thing, like, like why are these ladies going up? It's not, earth-shattering news. Like there's other things that are more important to focus on in life, and like this is for like, something effective like, this is for the elite, and like regular people can't do this. Like and I just was like, why are you like, making a mess in their cereal? Like just be
Yeah.
like
Well,
just I
the
don't know.
thing is that I think that these things can coexist with all the other stuff that's going on, clearly, because it didn't change anything when it came to talking about tariffs and changing, elements of the trade war that we all seem to be in and having to deal with. It's something that is concurrent, kind of cool. At this point, there is an elitist element to it because there is a pretty large price tag to it. Um, but you have to, from the from the part of, Jeff Bezos, he has to sell it, right? So you have to put faces that are visible to people in it to show that, hey, they liked it, you might too. And then eventually it's not going to be a gazillion dollars to do it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what you'll focus your big thing on, like we talked about it on our show this morning. Like, if you had the opportunity to do it, would you do it? And somebody texted saying, damn right, kind of thing. And saying, you have all those people that brag about, well, we just got back from Cuba, or we just got back from Greece. He said, I'd be like, I just got back from space, you
Yeah.
know? So bragging rights would be high.
Yeah, it's true.
And it is the kind of thing that, no, not at this point, not everybody has access to it, but it's okay to, dream about it or daydream about it or wonder if you would. That's
Yeah.
okay. Because all the other crap still happens,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All that other stuff is still ongoing and we're still in it.
Yeah. And I don't know why. I don't know, like the fact that they were all so excited, the women, and that this was like a cool idea for it. Again, I'm sure there's numerous reasons why, it could be questioned, but then overall, if it's making people happy and it's a good example of things and it's just like a fun um adventure that again maybe everyone can aspire to. Like I wasn't jealous, you know what I mean? Like I'm not jealous
No.
that I didn't get to go on this thing. Like I thought it was cool to see one of my favorite pop stars get to go like close to space. Like it's cool. So
Mm-hmm.
I
And
too.
also cool that, there was a rocket scientist on board. There
Yeah.
was a bioastronautics research scientist on board. So it's not just, you know, celebrities.
Yeah.
It was, capable and interested individuals that got to go.
By the way, Katy Perry heading out on tour very soon. She'll be in our neck of the woods in the at the end of July in Montreal, and I do hope to go to the show. I cannot wait. I know she's been putting in so much work to get ready for this, and I think it's going to be a great show. So
Cool.
go Katy Perry.
Go Katy Perry. How about Go Kelly's trivia? Are we ready for that?
Yay! Let's
Yay.
Kelly's trivia. Watch out. Sharona, you get to choose from news and politics or hobbies, toys, and games.
I'll do news and politics first, I guess.
Alrighty. Which famous nun and missionary passed away in 1997 at the age of 87?
Mother Teresa.
There we go.
There we go.
I don't know why. I thought she was older than that, but
How
nope.
old is she? 87, is that what you said?
97, she was 87.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe she's been gone that long.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. Um, Off to hobbies, toys, and games. Did you see how
Let's get to it.
that's good transition? In which country were troll dolls created?
In which what? Sorry?
In which country were troll dolls created?
I want to say Japan.
I would never not know this. I would never know this. Go ahead, not that one. One more guess.
One more guess.
Not in Asia.
Holland.
Close, Denmark.
Ooh.
One for two, Sharon. One for
I'll
two.
take it. I'll take it.
Yep.
Well, fair enough. Now, do you watch you watch Little Voice?
I thought
Because
you were
it's
going to
not a
say, "Did
show.
you watch Little House on the Prairie?" Not anymore.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Do you watch The Voice?
I haven't watched in several seasons, but I do know that Adam Levine is back, and
Yes, he is.
I do appreciate the coaches. Yeah.
Yeah, it's they've got a real cool vibe this year. It seems, like I think it's the 27th season, and which, it's not been on for 27 years. They just do a couple of seasons within a year.
Yeah.
And the vibe I find is like so supportive. I mean, it's a competition. The coaches want to win, but really what it's gotten to, in my opinion, is that the coaches want whoever is performing well to win. Certainly they want someone from their team to win, but they're supportive of the other um, competitors, which is really nice. They've got constructive things to say when it's time to do that, and it's quite exciting. And the list of coaches that they, not coaches, but mentors that they bring on to help the coaches,
Yeah.
just another perspective, have been really cool. Like Cynthia Erivo was on this year, and she's super chill. Like when the contestants walk in the room and see her, they're like, "What is happening to my life?" kind of thing. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Little Big Town was there, and that was cool. And they've done it before. Kate Hudson was also on this year, and that's cool because she just released an album, right?
Did she?
I believe so.
Oh, that's crazy. I know that Cynthia Erivo is dropping her second studio album on the 6th of June.
Yes. Now the thing with Kate Hudson is that she went to high school with Adam Levine.
That's funny.
So the fact that she really did confirm that she knew that he would be a rock star one day, and she said, "Yeah, he loved it. His first band, they were always playing somewhere, and it's amazing to see his success, and then to be here doing this with him." She says it feels very familiar yet surreal all at the same time. So cool. The thing that we have to look forward to within the next couple of weeks is seeing Sheryl Crow and LeAnn Rimes on the show. This will be the first time for LeAnn Rimes.
Mhm.
Um, and about 21 years since, not 21 years, what am I talking about? 21 or 23 seasons since Sheryl Crow did it. She was helping out on season 4. So what they do is they coach, they hear things differently, they impart some wisdom, which is, clearly for both Sheryl Crow and LeAnn Rimes and Cynthia Erivo, for that matter, they've all got that kind of experience that you really want to hear what they have to say. And the critiques on the performances are quite specific and helpful. So and it's also, I mean, no matter what they do moving forward, whether they win the whole thing or not, they still have that experience of being, tutored on some level by some of the greats, because those are just the mentors. You still have Michael Bublé, Adam Levine, John Legend, and Kelsey Ballerini, who all have, such a long list of experience among the four of them. So it's neat. I think it's neat to watch the show. I think typically with those kinds of reality shows, you never know past, oh, it was a great season finale, it was a great big win. You never hear from them again.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't anyways. Here in Canada, we don't. I maybe they have some sort of regional success in the States.
Mhm.
Um, or maybe they just get work. Maybe they just get studio work. Maybe they get to tour as a backing artist, or maybe they do their own thing. But there's no real standout winner in these shows, I find. But it's really cool to watch them try.
That's what I wanted to ask you because, like, yeah, again, I don't watch religiously. I always kind of keep my hands in the picture just so I know what's going on to talk about it on the radio. But yeah, like I don't think I could name you one that's gone kaboom in the last X amount of seasons. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's funny because in a way I find that apart from like the original American Idol that, obviously like spawned Kelly Clarkson and like Carrie Underwood, like all that stuff, I almost find that The Voice gets more respect than like from industry people. And it just seems like that's the vibe, that The Voice gets more respect, but then none of their artists really go big. Whereas again, back in the past, but I can't even tell you, I don't know, has there been an American Idol winner in the reboot even that stayed around that's done anything? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think the last one we heard was like,
Fantasia Barrino. No.
man, look, well, look at her go.
Amazing.
And she that was early on for her.
Yeah, that was fairly early on. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but no, Chris Daughtry, and he didn't even win,
But he was
right?
like, yeah, it's weird. And was Morgan Wallen, which one was he on? Because he was on, I think, was he on The Voice? I feel like he was.
You
I
ask a
don't think
good
he won
question.
either, but I think he has some, I feel like it was The Voice. I could be wrong, but I feel like he was on The Voice. And obviously look at him now. Um, it's been quite the rise to career madness for him.
He was on The Voice.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, don't know when.
Are you a fan of
He,
Colin?
am I a fan of his? I like that the work that he's done with Post Malone.
You need like the I need some help.
Yeah. But he has this way of ticking people off,
Yes.
you know? So he got a second chance on Saturday Night Live. Actually, that would have been a second appearance.
Mhm.
He kind of messed things up ahead of his first scheduled appearance. Then they rescheduled that appearance. And then he was on again recently. And at the end of the show, he left.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't he walked off the stage.
Yeah.
So where you're supposed to stay and wave and say thank you and hug the people after they stand, they wave, and then the credits start rolling, he walked off.
Yep.
And I don't know that there was an explanation about that.
I
Because
don't.
at that point, you've been on the show, you know how it works.
Yeah.
So it does come off as a bit rude. And I don't think that there was an emergency. And if there was, he could have gone off to the side and got out of the shot, but he legit walked by or almost into the camera.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
He was on season 6, by the way, of The Voice.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. Anyways, he's obviously got a story, and that's nice. Good for him.
I'm a big fan
So,
of Kelly Clarkson. Yeah.
yeah,
She's
she's great. Now, have you heard anything about her show and her on it
Yeah, I've
and how it
heard rumbles that she wants to maybe
get out?
take the job at some point soon.
Yeah, which I find amazing.
Yeah, because like she managed to keep that slot going since Ellen vacated it, right? So first of all,
Hmm.
she was in her own slot while Ellen was still going, and then they slipped her in when Ellen came off the air. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's but I think she's very much like, and good for Kelly. Like she just does what feels good for her. Like she needed to get out of Los Angeles. She was willing to quit the show. And then she's like, but if you bring it to New York, I'll go. And then they went, but like, I don't even think it was a demand. It was like, either way, I'm gonna work it out. So
Hmm.
yeah.
I find it interesting, and she's already had a few different guest hosts on the show,
Mm,
which is interesting. But it's she's already, and from I don't know, I think talk shows are the coolest thing to have. So
yep,
from my perspective, I wonder why you would not want that. But I guess if you're a performer and you want to do that, then you should probably do that. But
yeah.
anyways, and I find that she's improved quite a bit since she first started. She's taken the edge off of the energy a little bit, which was necessary because she was a bit wound, and that is a learned skill and a learned talent that you can do the job and improve at it, which she has. So it's interesting that that the rumblings are that she wants to leave it.
Yeah. I think if she does stay around for another season, I'm wondering like if that will be it. Or if like, I don't think she's gonna do 19 seasons like, Ellen.
Hmm.
Which is fine because like she'll perform in Vegas or she'll go on tour. She'll like Kelly Clarkson is legit the coolest. So
Yeah,
if you
she can do
watch
whatever
when
she
she
wants.
is like, 70 or whatever, she'll be like her version of Betty White. Like everybody's gonna think Kelly Clarkson is cool still.
It's almost like, well, good for her for doing this now, but maybe later on she'll come back and do another talk show and
Hmm.
be even more even readier. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
good for her.
when I was able to interview her a couple of years ago in May of 2023, like I only had like 5, 6 minutes with her, but she was just so chill and so cool, and she's such a fan of. Obviously, I brought up Janet because I knew she was a Janet fan, but you could see her eyes lit up immediately. Like she's just so unaffected by her own coolness.
Hmm,
So
that's neat.
I
Well, good
wish
for her.
so. Like more people, more celebrities should be like as chill and cool as Kelly Clarkson.
What would Kelly Clarkson do like that,
Yes.
right? Well, what Kelly Clarkson didn't do was appear at Coachella over the first weekend as they prep for round two of concerts in the desert. But Megan Thee Stallion took it by storm and brought out a bunch of people to perform with her. Talk about like you probably go thinking you're just getting Megan Thee Stallion. You don't know you're going to end up getting Queen Latifah, Ciara, Victoria Monet, Courtney LaPlante, and on and on. Like that's those names alone, I
Mhm.
think, make it worth the price of your weekend pass.
Yeah, and just like I saw a clip of like Latifah coming out to the stage, and like she's such a beast. Like she's just so cool, and she just like and she still looks like she's 25. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's like owns the stage, and when I saw her start doing her song, which is my favorite from her, which is UNITY, like it's just I don't know, she's the coolest. She's so awesome. And it was great to know that Megan knows that having Queen out there was such a good, and obviously her other guests as well, but this was kind of like the equivalent of when Katy Perry brought out Missy Elliott at Super Bowl.
Well, speaking of Missy Elliott, she's on the bill, for Coachella.
Yes. Yeah.
The Go-Go's did their set and got joined by Billy Joe from Green Day.
Nice.
Man, I wish I could have seen that.
That would be-
Go-Go's.
And by
That's
the
on my
way,
list.
hats off to Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
She killed it on the Friday. Like, I only heard good things. Like, only heard good things from the costumes to the dancers, like her vocals, just the whole stage presence and like the aesthetic was just like but she's a performer, that girl. Like she
Hmm.
knows and she puts the work in. Like I've seen some of the behind the stuff, like behind the scenes videos of them prepping for the. Have you seen the Abracadabra video yet?
Yes.
It's insane. And like the
Yeah.
amount of work that went on to make it look that cool was like ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I get a shout out
Agreed.
to the choreographer, Paris Goebel. Like she's fire. Yeah.
She's fire.
Yeah.
How do we go on from that?
Well, we
I'll
should
tell you.
mention just a quick shout out to our Canadian band, The Beaches. Very happy
Yeah.
that they got to perform. That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally that. Yeah. They're having a minute, as they say, Kel. The Beaches won Group of the Year, I think, at the Junos.
Yeah, second year in a row, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I think they just know how to do it, you know?
Yeah.
They know what
And
they're
they're
doing.
cool chicks.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and it's funny because I was it I don't remember if it was during my interview with Kylie Miller of one of the sisters in the Beaches, but somewhere I found out that they are fans, or maybe it was an interview I was reading. They're fans of these tween girls that are like 13, 14-year olds right now. And they are out of Canada also, and I think just somewhere else in Ontario. And they're called like Queens of Thunder or something.
Haha, nice.
Like I'm gonna find when you start talking, and I'm gonna find them on Instagram because the girls are fans of these like 13-year-olds. Like,
Well,
and
because they themselves were
yes,
13, that they've been a band for 20 years. It really legit goes back to high school and the beginning of it that
yeah,
they started playing together and you know what? Stick with it, folks, and you too might be big
yeah.
rock stars one day. Like they
But
know
I
what they're
just thought
doing.
that's so, especially too, because so many people follow the Beaches, and so to know that they're not only like in life supporters of these tween girls, but they're also following them on Instagram, like.
Hmm.
It's such street cred to these young ladies that are trying to make their way up. So I'm gonna find because I think they're called Queens of Thunder.
I love it.
It's I'll
I love
find
it.
it. Go ahead, Sharon, while I find this.
I think of the group the Donnas, who back in the early 2000s were nailing it. Like, and if you came up with a band that, might have been born out of a relationship between Joan Jett and AC/DC, you'd get the Donnas, just a straight up great rock and roll band. And they too started when they were very young. And I
Okay.
believe their first band name was the Electrocutes. So if you've got it in you to do it, like you just stick with it and you can do it, you know? Like
That's
the
amazing.
Linda Lindas. The Linda Lindas have fans in a lot of popular musicians, not the least of which is Elton John, who dropped their name on his special a couple weeks ago. And them too, they're young,
Yeah. Yeah.
early 20s, I think, at the most.
Yeah. You ready for this band name?
Yeah.
Thunder Queens.
Yes. That's even better than Queens of Thunder. Thunder Queens. Hell yeah.
So everybody, you have to follow them on Instagram. It's at Thunder Queens Band. That's the name of the handle.
On it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
So
good.
do you transition, some nailing it females to another one? The Billboard Best Female Latin Pop Artist of All Time,
Mm,
Shakira.
yeah. No
See,
doubt. Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's they're either nailing it or killing it, and that's what she's doing. Um, Obviously, the worldwide success, the fact that she can sing in both languages, that is incredible to me because I think you think in your first language and then you have to then translate it. But I think when your hips don't lie, you know, like verbal or verbal cues don't matter.
Yeah.
You make it work, and she's done it, man. Good for her.
29 number, 29 songs of hers have hit the Billboard Hot 100 chart.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know what the Hot 100 chart represents, uh, it's the top 40 of those 100. That is when you hear about the top 40.
Yep.
That's and within that top 40 is what's considered a hit song.
Yep.
So 41 and to 100, not a hit. Doesn't mean they're not known songs, but the top 40 is taken from Billboard's Hot 100. So to have 29 songs that have charted in the Hot 100 is pretty impressive. A lot of which have become hits for her, which is great, which is why she can take on world tours and bring the hips to the people.
Yeah, she's here in Montreal I think it's May 20th for us.
Nice.
Yeah, and this tour, I don't know if we talked about this before, but I read an article months back in the preparation of this tour saying that like she was basically bringing everything in the kitchen sink. Like she was going like massive production, massive video screens, like just really wanting this. She says like she's basically worked her whole life to get to this point that she can bring this type of show around the world. So,
You know where she gets that sink? The cucina. That
like
sounded like you just gave up.
Sheryl week, folks. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much. Are you ready for your 90s rewind?
ready.
Speaking of powerful women, Salt and Peppa featuring En Vogue. So there was 7 of them singing about what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
Kathy and Susan weren't there yet.
Well, no, it was En Vogue as we remember them.
Yeah.
Also, the most beautiful girl in the world was given to us by Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Marx was making or getting set to make the wedding rounds for that year in 1994 with
Yep.
Now and Forever.
Yep.
I will be your man. Uh, Streets of Philadelphia, Bruce Springsteen, who just announced that he's releasing 4,000 new albums that he just happened to be sitting on for the last few years. Imagine that. It's
Also.
crazy. It's so awesome for him. So Streets of Philadelphia, obviously a big deal and a great song. And once you lifted your spirits a little bit from that experience, you toasted with some gin and juice. And you got that from Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Martha Stewart's BFF.
There you go. Her 420 buddy. Bringing in some 70s references thanks to Big Mountain, who took on Peter Frampton's Baby, I Love Your Way. And just made it feel like you were in the islands all the time. One of the 90s staple rock tunes comes from Beck and was floating around this time in 1994. It was Loser.
Such a great song. My goodness.
I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? Okay. Uh, and why don't we stir the pot a little more just to make sure you realize you are in 1994 and shout out Toni Braxton on some of her deepest, vocally deep deliveries on Breathe Again.
I love that song.
And I guess the
Great
like
song.
it's so. Did she just say something, or did she go super low? Both.
Yeah.
So Breathe Again wraps up your '90s rewind that took us back to 1994.
Good job, Sharona.
Thank you.
1994, one of the best
Whoop
years.
whoop.
One of the best years. I'd say 93, 94, 95. Best years in music. One of the, yeah.
Yeah, you know what the best part about best years is that we don't have to pick one. We can pick three as our favorite and then change our mind next show.
Exactly. Because I also am a fan of 1998 and 97. So
See? Can't discount 1990 or 1992 either.
no, that's when I fell in love with the
See?
Waters and the Hensons. What am I gonna do? Yeah.
What the heck? We love them all. That's why we do this every week. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, for finding us wherever it is that you do. We seem to be all over the place, and we're happy that you have located us and taken us for a walk or whatever you do with us.
Yep.
Be kind. Be kind to us. Thank you for listening to 90s Now. Still happening.